Hi there, welcome to my channel Maths SL. I'm speaking Thaqib Latif. I'm going to show you how to sketch the graph of a cubic function. F of x, this is the cubic function. So when you sketching a graph of a cubic function, must remember you need to find the y-intercept, x-intercepts, and the turning point. You can say stationary points as well, and the point of inflection. Y-intercept, x-intercept, turning point, and inflection point. And when is if a is greater than 0, which means a positive. If is a coefficient of x power 3 is positive, then the graph is end up smile. And if is the x power 3, the coefficient is negative, then the graph end up sad. Now this is the explanation I'm explaining to you. You don't need to write in exam all of these, but you can write on the side this one, then you know which is done and you can tick off. So if a greater than 0, which means positive, then the graph starts sad and end up smile. So if it's a less than 0, which means negative, if this is negative here, then the graph starts smile, end up sad. So now we are busy with this one where the graph is positive. So but just remember, if it's a positive, end smile; if it's negative, end sad. So first of all, I need to find the y-intercept. That will be easy. X value must be equal to 0. So x value is 0, and then you get the y-intercept. That will be 8. So the y-intercept is going to be x is 0, y value 8. So we got the y-intercept. So the x-intercept we need to find now. X-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we're going to use the factor theorem, short bracket and the long bracket. Short bracket we will find through factor theorem, and the long bracket, which is going to be a quadratic equation, that we have to use the synthetic division or long division or by inspection, or you can use the calculator also. I will show you how to do. But if the question is 4 mark, they ask you to find the x-intercept, and they ask you and they give you the mark location is 4, then obviously you need to show the calculation. You can't use the calculator. But if there's nothing such thing like this, you can use the calculator. And also, this is a new calculator, is quite expensive. Most of the learners don't have this calculator, so in that case also you have to show the calculation. So anyhow, so better to know the calculation. And the x-intercept, y value is equal to 0. Now f of y is equal to f of x, so this is equal to 0. Now we need to first find the factor theorem. We're going to use the factor theorem to find the short bracket first linear factor, and the other two we're gonna find through a quadratic equation, and the quadratic equation we're gonna find through synthetic division. I like synthetic division, but you can use any one. In my previous videos I showed all three methods, so you can choose any method, but I'm going to use synthetic division, and I'm going to show you by calculator as well. Have a look here. So the first we need to use the factor theorem. First I'm going to show you by calculation. The factors of 8 we need to write. This one you don't need to show in exam, but only for here, for explanation purpose I want to show you. So the factors of 8. Factors of 8, that's going to be a positive and negative 1, and positive and negative 2, positive and negative 4, and positive and negative 8. Now we need to substitute one by one into this f of x, whichever give me result 0, and that will be my factor. The remainder must be 0. So I start always with positive 1. I'm gonna make a little template. I'm gonna use the calculator. So it's gonna be a 1 cube minus 3 1 square minus 6 multiply 1 plus 8. Answer is 0. So 1 is a factor. So positive 1 is a factor. So therefore f of 1 So if you put f of 1, this is just for explanation. This one you can write in exam. F of 1, whichever is the factor, only write that one. The other you don't need to write. Even you don't need to write this one also if you don't want to. So the 1 power 3 minus 3, 1 power 2, 6. I substitute 1 into this equation. Answer is 0. Now, therefore, x negative 1 is a factor, because if it's a positive 1, in the bracket I must write negative. If it's negative 1, then in the bracket I must write positive 1. X is a liar. So x negative 1, we must do the opposite. So the x negative 1 is a factor. So first linear factor we have. Now we need to find another two. So I'm going to use the synthetic division. Synthetic division, that's easy and time savior. So positive 1, negative 3, negative 6, and positive 8. I'm going to list all the coefficients of the cubic function here. Vertical line and horizontal line. Now I'm going to write the coefficients. Positive 1, negative 3, negative 6, and positive 8. I showed in my previous video also. You can watch that video. Uh, Factorizing the cubic equation by synthetic division. Then I showed also in that how to uh, find the factors of if the f of x is negative cubic function. So now the divisor is going to be a 1, because of 1 is a factor. So the 1, I'm going to pull down the first coefficient. 1 times 1 is positive 1. Now I'm going to add negative 3 and positive 1 become negative 2. Now I'm going to again negative 2 multiply 1 is negative 2. I'm going to add, answer is negative 8. Negative 8 multiply 1, answer is negative 8. Positive and negative is 0. So which means if the answer is 0, which means x negative 1 is a correct factor. So now this is ax square plus bx plus c. Remember our standard equation, ax square plus bx plus c. So now, so therefore, x negative 1, we already have the second one, second long bracket. This is bx square, this is going to be x square, this is minus 2x minus 8. This is my second long bracket. The first one we already got, x negative 1 is equal to 0. Now here we can if you can factorize, it's fine. If you can't factorize, then you're going to use the quadratic formula, but I can see we can factorize here. So it's also going to be x negative 1 as is. This is short bracket. The long bracket I'm going to solve now. It's going to be x negative 4 and x plus 2. I factorize. Answer is 0, equal to 0. I factorize. So therefore the x-intercept, x equal to 1 or x equal to positive 4 or x is equal to negative 2. So we got 3 x-intercept. X equal to positive 1, x is equal to positive 4, x is equal to negative 2. I factorize here. We can factorize this one. If you can't factorize, then you must use the quadratic formula. You can use the calculator also to factorize the cubic equation. So must remember, this is the old calculator, the Casio FX82, and you cannot factorize with this calculator. With this calculator, you can factorize FX99. So this is a new calculator. So quite easy to factorize the cubic function here. I'll show you now. Press mode, and then you press number 5 equation EQ, and now you're gonna find different 1 2 3 4. Can you see there is a different equation? So number 3 is quadratic equation. You can solve quadratic equation also to use the number 3. So I'm going to use number 4, because that is ax power 3 plus bx square plus cx plus d is equal to 0, which means you're going to find the x value. So number 4, press number 4, because that's for the cubic equation. Now I'm going to write all the coefficients. So first coefficient we have 1, and you press equal, and then we got negative 3, and then you press equal, then we got negative 6, press again equal, and then positive 8, press again equal. After you press finish this one, then you say press equal, and then you'll find the first x-intercept, that is negative 2. Second time press equal, then you find the second intercept, which is 4, and then press again third time, third x-intercept you will find, that is a positive 1. So you can see our answer is matching. Our x-intercept is same like what we found through calculator. Now we got the x-intercept, we got the y-intercept. So now to sketch the graph we need a turning point also. So now we're going to find the turning point. Now to find the turning point, let first derivative equal to 0. The first derivative must be equal to 0. So the f of x we have here, we need to find the first derivative of f of x. So it's going to be a 3x squared minus 6x minus 6. So apply the first derivative. So the first derivative of f of x is 3x squared minus 6x minus 6. Now the first derivative must be equal to 0, we can see. So this is going to be equal to 0. So 3x squared minus 6x minus 6 is equal to 0. And I can divide by 3 this whole expression, because 3 is a common factor. So it's going to be x power 2 minus 2x and minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I need to factorize. We need to solve for x here. We need to find the turning point. I can't factorize. If you can't factorize, then you must use the quadratic formula here. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula here. It's going to be a minus b, positive and negative, square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So this is my quadratic formula I'm going to apply here. So it's going to be a minus 2. I substitute the value here, plus minus negative 2 square minus 4 multiply 1 negative 2 over 2. The a is positive 1. Now I'm going to use the calculator. One time you can use the calculator and you will find the answer. X going to be equal to 2,73, or x is equal to negative 0,73. I'm going to use the 2 decimal place. Now we got the x value of the turning point. To find the y value of the turning point, which is y is equal to f of x, must remember, no? That's going to be f of 2,73. I'm going to put back into the original equation to find the y value. So I'm going to substitute here in this cubic function equation. So the original function you're going to substitute. So it's going to be 2,73 cube minus 3 in 2,73 square minus 6, 2,73 plus 8. So the answer is negative 10,39. And I'm going to use the second y value to find f of negative 0,73. So it's going to be a negative 0,73 cube minus 3 negative 0,73 square minus 6 minus 0,73 plus 8. The answer will be positive 10,39. So the turning point we have now. So the first turning point we have positive 2,73, positive 2,73 and negative 10,39. In the second pair we have negative 0,73 and then you get the answer positive 10,39. So there we got the two turning points. So this is our first derivative. You can find the x value. We can find here. This is a quadratic equation. We can find through calculator as well. So you don't need to show the calculation. Here you don't need to show the calculation. You can find through calculator. Right. Let's have a look here. So quite easy again. I'm going to show you now how to do with this. With the calculator, easy. You're going to say again mod and press 5 equation, and then this time you're going to press number 3, because ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. That is a quadratic equation. So press number 3. Now you substitute all the coefficients what we have of this. So now you substitute the coefficient of the first derivative, which is 3 equal -6. Again press equal. Again -6, press equal. Just remember we substitute these. Now you press equal, so we get the first answer 1 plus 3 root. So you can find in if you want to write in a decimal place, you press SD, there is 2,73. Press equal. Now the second one again you have, if you want to find in decimal, press SD, there is negative 0,73. So our answer is correct. Same through calculation we found 2,73 and negative 0,73, and then by calculator is same. Now the last we need to find the inflection point. Remember this one, I'm going to show you how to sketch the graph with 2 turning points. Next video I will show you with 1 turning point, and after that I will also show you with no turning point. Now we need to find the inflection point, so the second derivative must be equal to 0. So this is the first derivative we already have. We're going to find the second derivative, which is going to be a 6x minus 6 is equal to 0. Have a look. So the second derivative must be equal to 0. Second derivative must be equal to 0 to find the inflection point. So I'm going to find the second derivative, which is going to be a 6x minus 6 is equal to 0. 6x minus 6. Now we're going to solve for x here. 6x, this become positive 6, and x become 1. So the inflection point is we got 1 here. So x value 1 and y value we need to find here. So we're going to substitute this x equal to 1 into the original function. So the y is equal to f of 1. Remember f of 1 we already found earlier, that is 0. Have a look here. If you put x equal to 1, the y value is 0. Have a look here. If you put f of 1, y value is equal to 0. So that's going to be a 0. So the inflection point, therefore inflection point will be, inflection point gonna be a x value 1, y value 0. There we go. So therefore we got y-intercept, x-intercept, turning point, and inflection point. Now I can sketch the graph. I always taught my learners you can sketch the graph randomly. After that you can plot the points, or you can plot the points first and then you can join the points, sketch the graph. Either way, I like to sketch the graph randomly and then I plot the points. So the first of all you need to draw the y-axis and x-axis. Now I can sketch the graph, because this is going to be a end smile and start sad. So this is going to be a start sad and up, and this is going to be my y-intercept, and then I come down, and there we go. This don't need to according to the scale, just need to show that you know the work. So this is end up smile, starts sad, end up smile. This is my positive. Now I can plot the points. So y-intercept I got here. So earlier we find the y-intercept, that was positive 8. So this is my y-intercept, positive 8, x value 0, and then x-intercept. We got 3 x-intercept, 1, 4, and negative 2. So obviously this is going to be negative 2, this is positive 1, this is 4. Then after the turning points, we got two turning point, positive 273, y value negative 10, comma 39. X value 2, comma 73, y value 10, negative 10, comma 39. Now the second one, x value negative and the y value positive. That will be here in this quad, x value negative and y value positive. Negative 0, comma 73 x value, y value positive 10, comma 39. So we got both turning points also. And the inflection point is here, x value 1, y value 0. So this is our inflection point. This is our inflection point. So this is our inflection point, x value 1, y value 0. This is our inflection point. So this is the graph we sketch. This is the graph of f of x, the positive cubic graph. That's how you're going to sketch the graph. Now, one thing we learn from here, so the inflection point, I can also find through these two turning point. If I take the midpoint of two turning point, that will be the inflection point. You can find the inflection point, second derivative must be equal to 0, or the two turning point, you take the midpoint of two turning point, that will be your inflection point. Have a look here. Sometimes you are in such a predicament, then you can't find the inflection point through second derivative, then you have to this is the second method to find the inflection point. So the x value negative 0, comma 73 plus this x value 2, comma 73 divide by 2, we're taking the midpoint of these two turning point. So the midpoint of, I take the midpoint of two turning points, the answer is 1. You can see the x value 1. And y value, if you need to find, you have to again substitute this x equal to 1 into the original function, then you will find the y value. So you can use the second derivative and you can find the x value. X is equal to 1. Or you can take the midpoint of two turning point and x value is going to be equal to 1. So this is going to be very useful when you're going to interpret the graph. So sometimes we do need this concept. Please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any question, comment below. I will assist you. Have a nice day.